choose the number, and even I've been informed. It was you, Daniel, right? You said that once Kramnik won a Blitz tournament, which served as the pairing, and
No,
he
I
chose to
mean-
play more blacks. I mean, in one of the previous editions. Of
Yes, almost. He didn't win the Blitz tournament, but he finished in the first
Yeah,
part.
all right,
So he could pick his extra white.
So the thing is that I don't know if we have it in this tournament, but yeah, so in some round robins, you have as one of the tiebreak, you have a number of black games played or white games. I mean,
Yeah, and
so
the-
a higher number of black games played.
yes, exactly,
might be-
and that was the case with Kramnik.
All right, Kramnik himself plays with Peter Swidler. An English opening from Swidler, c4, c5, knight.
So I see already
C3.
two English openings, in fact,
Yes.
which is pretty good for me, as I'm kind of
Aronian versus Gelfand is what I call 4 knights English opening. That's
yeah.
that's what we have in Aronian Gelfand. By the way, I'm still thinking. I mean, it's a bit of a speculation, but does it really? I mean, is it really important in which order you play those moves? Like knight f3, knight c6, not knight f6.
I believe it is actually.
Yeah, right. Because I mean, in some cases, it seems. Let me go with. I mean, it's a little bit silly, but since the round is just started, let me show one thing. I mean, knight c3, and then most likely all knights will be developed. But if you go knight c6, this is not the most. Let's say not the most precise move because of e4, right?
Sure.
So I don't know if it's the case here. If knight f6, maybe white can play d4. Anyway, too early to say something. This is quite an interesting game. Promises to be, I would say. Nepomniachtchi versus Tomaszewski. So classical and usually rock solid Evgeny Tomaszewski against
with his-
Jan, who is quite inventive, it seems.
Sure.
Then we have Giri versus Anand.
And they have already played this position at Moscow
candidates,
yeah, I believe.
Queen c2, bishop b4 it was, if I remember well.
Yes, exactly. But I could never understand what's wrong with c6, because I don't think white has anything better than e3, transposing
you
to
mean this,
some
and then-
Miron stuff.
And then it's kind of you play with black. What you play with black is anti-Miran. Can I?
Yes, exactly.
I don't know, e4.
Yes, but then takes and check on before. I have
Yeah,
spent
this is.
some hours in these positions. I mean, it's
No,
not.
I'm thinking if it, who, if any, side has won some time. I don't know. I mean, this, and now takes and kind of a well-known motive to play king e2. I mean, right? I mean, it was.
Yeah, but it's completely same position, I believe.
So it's just a transposition.
Yeah, it's just the same. Yeah.
All right.
By the way, Momidjarov played this line recently against Shirov
Against
at the
Shirov at the
I believe.
Olympiad, yeah, it didn't work out for him. He had to save with
Yeah,
white being pawned out.
he was lucky to hold the draw. Yeah, is white.
All right, and favorite Scotch from Jan
Jan
Nepomniachtchi, and I wonder what Tomaszewski will. Okay, I mean now he's gonna take, so it's Nepomniachtchi versus Tomaszewski. Vichy, by the way, he is thinking. Queen c2, dc4 was played.
Yeah, which is also pretty decent move.
Kind of thematic move. Mamedierov Li Chao is not started, so this is a bit of a surprise. Well, I have to say there is no zero tolerance, and more than that, the waiting time, so default time is 1 hour. So
Okay,
that's
so
organizers being very generous to players.
yeah, so some guys can only start preparation. Yeah.
Yeah, so the time control is quite long actually. It's 1 hour 40 for first 40 moves, then 50 moves for 15 minutes for next 20 moves, and then 15 moves till till the end of the game, with 30 seconds increment. So it makes it, I would say, 7 hours time control, and more than 7 hours in fact. So it's 140 you have plus 20 minutes increment to reach move 40.
Yeah.
So it's 2 hours in terms of this old-fashioned time control. It's 2 hours for 40 moves, 1 hour for
Yeah, it's pretty same. You're right. It's on a 6, but
otherwise
I don't think it's.
Yeah, actually here I wonder if it can be dangerous. Not really, probably. It takes right?
Yeah, takes and maybe queen c6.
Knight takes, and I thought queen c6 or even queen c4. In both
Yeah,
cases, and maybe queen c4 is even more forcing because you have to take a fate and
Yeah, it shouldn't be any kind of dangerous. Probably white is
just
more or
has
less
not
okay,
enough.
but
Yeah,
yes.
not enough. Probably not enough compensation. So c5, bishop c4. Wonder what Wish is thinking about. Is there any? Could it be that there is anything of? I mean, any alternative?
Hard to believe. a6 maybe, but still it doesn't look very convincing
I mean,
to
you
me.
you can take and play a6, and a6 feels like you're giving more options, like e5. All right, Shahryar arrives at the board, and so both players are there. Now, I think maybe they were both late because there is some sort of discussion between the players, and I believe Li Chao went to talk to arbiter. Don't know what really is going on here. Okay, so not very exciting just yet. Giri Anand, Svidla versus Kramnik.
It's about to transpose to some hedgehog, I
Yeah,
believe.
but that's like 3 moves only. 3 moves only played. So Shahryar says...
He's trying to explain something to the
tries
chief
to explain
arbiter,
something. I
Anatoly
don't know.
Lukhovsky.
Well, I don't know what's that. Yeah, it can be that he's arguing like we came along with my opponent. We came together to the game. Why I have to suffer 10 minutes? But in fact, that's the rule, right? I mean, so you are white. You are first to make move.
Sure.
All right. So I don't think something. All right. As we said, they have pretty lots of time. So
Sure.
I don't think this 10 minutes will really affect Shahryar. Okay.
But still, Shahryar is
well,
not in rush.
not-
Yeah, just okay. He lost 10 minutes, but still, it's not
Yeah.
a crucial reason to make a move.
Okay. And Aron and Gelfand. Look what happens in Aron and Gelfand. That's a well-known theoretical line. 4 knights. C4. I mean, English opening 4 knights. G3, D5. And that's interesting.
And d4, yeah, which is
yeah, because can I just come back here? Some years ago, I mean, like 20, 30 years ago, it was, well, either you play d4 here with white, and then g6, and you kind of getting some sort of Morozzi, right?
Yeah.
Or, well, black can play e6 as well, but...
yeah, transposing to just the main English.
Yeah, and then,
Symmetrical
look, I
English
mean, and
line.
if you play g3, then black would play d5,
D5
you would
takes,
take,
yes.
and you would have more or less the same position. Okay, black cannot play e5 immediately, but knight c7, and again,
and then e5 comes.
most likely
and then-
Morozzi structure with colors reversed. Yes, and then I believe it was Vladimir Kramnik to come up with this idea, to play g3 and after d5 to play d4. And, well, the line we see in the game, I don't think it's the most, let's say, most exciting line out there, but it proved to be quite solid for black. So cd4, and at the same time pretty forcing. Knight takes, d takes,
takes c6.
white has to take on c6. Knight, queen d1, knight d1, b c6, bishop g2, knight d5, and knight e3. So black has to be, white will get the pawn back, obviously, and black has to be a little bit careful.
Yeah,
not to end up worse.
probably Boris improved some well-known lines, because as I know, this position is considered to be slightly better for white, and that's why
Bishop a6,
they usually
d3, check, king d2, and king e7.
bishop d2, yeah, king e7.
Boris-
Definitely. This used to be considered.
So you
as
mean
a
it's
small edge for white.
I remember.
That's why after d4 they usually go e6, I believe.
Yeah, but then you kind of transpose into Taras, right?
No, I don't think so.
takes.
No, but takes with
you
the
take
knight.
with the knight. Yeah,
And
okay.
bishop
So
g2
some
takes,
sort of semi-Tarrasch or English opening, whatever.
takes
No,
everything. And
I'm
so on.
sure I've seen this one in Rajabov Karyaki in Baku Grand Prix a couple of years ago,
Maybe.
and it was a quick draw.
Mhm.
I mean, moves wise, they didn't play it so fast, but it was kind of clear that Black prepared and equalized convincingly. So King e7, but once again, nothing in spirit of Michael Tal, I would say.
Yeah, sure.
Some ending with very slight.
So we could say
chance.
Boris is obviously still in his book, right?
Yeah, 142 for
Yeah,
Boris
so-
Gelfand. Levon will try to invent something, but yeah, might be okay. Rook c1. Is there? Yeah, I'm wondering, is there any serious chance for White? You know, I don't see what's the problem for Black is at all.
I don't know. I mean, if you will not somehow exchange everything, then it's gonna be pretty
So-
unpleasant, I believe.
Yeah, you mean if White will make like 3-4 moves in a row?
Yeah,
then yes.
yes, exactly. But Black is usually opting for some kind of active counterplay in these positions, I believe. So,
I mean,
for instance, probably we could try taking on c4 followed by a5.
so it's something like this: a bishop takes, if
Rook takes, and maybe a5 immediately even.
a5, and if
Some
say,
rook.
okay, I'm
rook
greedy.
takes,
Let's say
some,
I take over there.
I don't know, rook c8 or something.
Rook c8 here, but then it's bishop d5. You know, bishop d5.
Yeah, takes.
Pawn takes
Takes
c8
and maybe king
king
d1.
d1.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's pawn up.
yeah.
It's a pawn up.
I'm not in time. You're right.
King e7, rook c1. No, I thought like making a move with the rook. I don't know, rook d8, c8, something. Rook d8. That's what Boris was about to. I mean, to play with h8 rook, like rook on d8.
But
because
rook
White cannot
d8
castle yet.
Rook
right?
d8 probably runs into taking on before knight takes and a3.
Rook c8. He
Yeah,
plays.
That's what I wanted to say, because here after a3 knight goes somewhere and knight e5 is very
Yeah, that's
unpleasant.
very unpleasant. A5 or e5.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah.
that's why the pawn on c6
So
has to be
rook
protected.
H c8 was played. Yes.
Very natural.
So he keeps the other rook, the possibility for the other rook to go on b8, or, well, if the bishop goes, takes on c4.
And
then
a5,
rook,
a4 at some
rook will
point,
play
yeah.
on a file. Looks very solid, but not exciting, if you ask me. Oh, well, far more promising, I would call the other English opening, Svidla versus Kramnik, which is about to reach... well, it looks like a hedgehog, I have to say.
Yeah,
So
it,
G3,
I mean,
B6. Well, at least it
it
can
is
be.
hedgehog actually.
Yeah, it is a
already.
hedgehog.
Yeah.
It can be quite instructive. So bishop G2, bishop B7, castles, bishop E7, D4, takes,
CD4
and queen takes.
Queen takes, I believe. It's
Yeah, so
gonna be played.
Queen takes,
And
and
black
black
has-
already castled. Black
Uh-huh.
already castled. I thought actually knight C6 was kind of a move to keep it more of Queen's Indian. Now, I remember something like this, like knight C6, then White would play Queen F4 and some Queen B8.
Yeah, but it is not here. I mean, this position exists with the inclusion of castles and rook d1. So now, if Svidler will play rook d1,
Ah, you mean castle,
Yeah, and
rook D1 and
knight
then knight
c6, yeah, and here this
yeah.
position arises.
But wait, but can I play this, how it's called?
Yeah, but it is
Bishop
not here,
G5.
I believe.
Yeah, I
You're-
know. I mean, but what's the difference? Yeah, it considered to be not a bad plan.
Is it-
Anderson, I think Anderson plan.
Yeah,
right?
sure, but the difference is that here black is already in time to play h6.
H6 takes.
I have been analyzing this
takes
position
and
recently.
Queen D3.
And any random move, knight a6 or something.
You
I
have
mean,
to be careful of that, but even knight a6 you can
Yes.
go with, because after knight g5 you probably take. I mean,
Yeah,
this
and
is
I
a
have
well-known trick, but you have a
knight
counter
c5,
trick.
yes, exactly.
Knight c5, and maybe if you would take with the pawn, it would be even better for black, right? So to take with
Sure.
the pawn, should b7, knight c5, queen goes, and
Only
then
to
I don't know,
f3.
to take b7, you have g4 intermediate. No,
Yeah.
I mean it's nothing to discuss.
Sure.
All right, so bishop g5 would not work. Yeah, rook d1 would keep it in.
Rook d1 is the main move, I believe. Knight c6, queen f4, queen b8.
But then again, some sort of an endgame and not very likely to be
I mean,
entertaining.
I mean, not necessarily. For instance, I played this position as white against Mikhail Brodsky, and I opted for some strange idea: queen f4, queen b8, queen d2.
Well, which might be not so strange to play
we-
b3, bishop b2 later, right?
Or even, which I did, queen a1 and bishop e4. That was the idea to force him to go to b8 and then
so
win a tempo.
you could go back to d2 immediately. Instead, to play queen f4,
to provoke
queen
queen b8 and then queen d2.
queen d2. Later on, playing queen e1 and developing the bishop. Meanwhile, we are still shown Aronian versus Gelfand. And, well, never mind that this position, well, this is the position. Never mind, it's kind of quiet. The game will be going at least till move 40. That's about the one more thing.
Unless some
about the
threefold
rules,
repetition will be claimed.
Otherwise, you have to look for a threefold repetition. Anything we should add on? Yeah, well, later on we can talk something about the prices, about the rules of a tiebreak.
Kramnik meanwhile opted for d6, and now it is
a hedgehog.
classical hedgehog. Yeah.
So it's castles, rook d1 and
And d6.
d6.
And now after bishop g5, it's the main position of Anderson's line arises, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So black has a choice here between knight b d7, which is usually met by knight b5, I believe.
Yeah, but how to know what's going on here? Okay, some queen moves, was it? Yeah, okay. Let's talk this way. h6 first of all. I mean, first reaction.
Yeah.
The most, let's say. So then
Takes.
takes, bishop takes. Is it queen d6 or? I'm not even sure if it's queen d6. Might be queen d, or
Oh.
queen d6 is good.
Or even queen f4, by the way, is also decent, yeah?
Yeah,
But
so
why not to take? Yeah, you're right.
takes,
Probably
takes,
taking.
but maybe because I remembered bishop g5 and to take on f6. It's you can have this idea in different positions, but here I don't know why not to take. Maybe queen, was it queen c8?
Yeah, but
something.
hard to believe, right?
Hard to believe. It's a pawn up after all.
Maybe
Yeah.
we should simply take d6, take c3, and then go some knight a6.
Takes over there.
And
Knight
knight
a6, right? But yeah, this might be an equality.
Yeah.
Or might be not.
Still-
I mean, there's still
still,
knight d4, knight e5.
Still
too
not
many
that
options,
clear, yeah. Not
Too
that
many
clear.
options.
So
maybe.
probably we're just mixing up the lines. Which is
Yeah,
pretty sad.
but that means bishop g5 is kind of a tempting move for Peter Swidler to make.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm pretty sure that after bishop g5, nowadays the main move is knight b d7, and then after knight
Mhm.
b5, some
So it's like that: bishop g5, knight b
d7
d7,
and knight b5.
knight b5, and then black has to do something about this d6.
Yeah, he usually plays d5, and
d5 can be
some
played.
strange stuff starts with queen f4, I believe, or takes first and then queen f4.
So it's like queen f4 heading to c7, d6. Maybe then actually planning queen c7 at
Yeah,
some stage
I
just
mean-
to get to an endgame.
It depends from black reaction, yeah, but still, I mean,
Okay, Swidler is thinking after d7, d6. Anand versus Giri. Well, so few more moves. Shall we check just quickly? After c5, yeah, cd4. In fact, there was no alternative to cd4, but then Anand spent some time and he played bishop c5. Knight went to b3, bishop b6. an ambitious idea, perhaps to save a tempo on a7, a6. So,
Yeah, I
Yes.
mean,
but it's
to be
not-
honest, it doesn't look very natural to me. I mean, somehow it feels as if something should be wrong.
Well, it's quite interesting. I mean, it's not that you used to see very often in this
Sure.
in this kind of positions. With bishop on b6 is something not very usual. But
Sure.
now I'm thinking it's also not clear if white has everything placed on the best squares. I'm thinking a castle, and then can it be, something like knight g4?
Yeah, but the
looks
question
quite
is,
strange. Looks
the
quite
question
strange,
is
right?
how black is gonna finish.
The development.
The
Maybe he doesn't
development,
need
yeah.
to. Maybe he doesn't need to. Yeah, the bishop on c8 is kind of stuck, right? But
So far, at least.
yeah. But other guys actually finding their squares. Knight on e5. I mean, maybe this knight will get knight from f6 can
Probably I should start with bishop f4, by the way,
Yeah,
just to
maybe
prevent
it's-
some queen c7 stuff and to prevent knight
get,
e5.
maybe bishop f4 is kind of more precise. And then what should maybe still knight g4. I mean, I know it looks strange.
Yeah, maybe, but it looks extremely dangerous to me already.
Mm.
And then, yeah, in spirit of Michael Tal, it should be something
Long
with castle
castle,
long,
yeah.
yes, on knight f2, I don't know, throwing the guys in somehow, knight b5, knight d5.
Or some simple bishop d6 so far, just
Yeah, actually
Without-
preventing black from...
no rush, just
Yes, if you take this rook, probably not to take the knight
One more,
at
uh,
all.
one more random move here.
Some, yeah, maybe already to start with knight d5 or...
Yeah, probably this is too much, but probably it is not, by the way. And after knight g4, I could even play probably a very ambitious move h3, even.
Aha, h3, right.
Which
So
is
the
also
point being, if
pretty
knight takes, then rook f1, and probably,
And you have problems saving this knight.
yeah, that's right.
And my next is not even taking on f2, but maybe bishop g3 or knight a4.
Maybe bishop g3, right. Yeah, but it's still, I mean, it still can be tricky.
Sure.
Right, after all, Anand knows what he's doing, and I think, I mean, maybe it's not precisely Anish Giri's cup of tea to play this way. I mean, maybe to try to refute black's setup, you have to play in a very aggressive.
Sure.
And maybe this is, well, not that Giri cannot play this way, but I mean,
Yeah.
he would prefer not
Not to do this,
Let's
yeah.
say he would
You're
prefer,
right.
I mean, if maybe everyone would prefer. I mean, if there is a way to save advantage, why to risk?
Especially against obviously prepared opponent, yeah, so...
All right, so we in fact reached the point where, well, the game, the players started to take their time. Swidler is thinking in Aron and Gelfand. Aron is thinking for quite some time. Nepomniachtchi versus Tomaszewski, this is what we got. Well, this looks... I mean, perhaps it's still a theory for Jan Nepomniachtchi. But if you look at the position, I mean, imagine you don't know, you have no idea about the theory of this line. I mean,
Sure.
it looks very suspicious, I have to say. I mean, black developed a lot of stuff already. White played queen e2 and plays with the pawns.
Yeah,
Or-
but that's how a Scotch generally looks usually, yeah? So then...
Yes, but
Then
on the
they
other
start
hand,
playing g3, bishop g2, and then...
on the other hand, yeah, this development bishop to a6. In fact, it's not clear if it's
Yes.
such a great way
Yeah,
to develop the
exactly.
piece. Because, yeah, in many cases it will be just, the bishop which is cut off from the game.
Yeah, I mean, generally I would put it like this. If black's direct play doesn't work in the following 2 or 3 moves, then white is gonna have a chance to be better.
Yeah, there is no way, let's put it this way, there is no way black can get slightly worse position here. So it's either you get some fight,
You are fine,
equalizing,
or
you are fine,
yeah.
or you get usually, really, you're absolutely right. I mean, if nothing works tactically now, if
Yeah,
you will have to play...
Then you lose strategically,
Yes,
yeah. I mean,
yes.
more
If
or
you will
less.
have to play backwards, like knight b6,
Yeah.
and try to hold, then it will be pretty much problematic. All right, and then we have the game which started a bit late. Mamedyarov versus Li Chao. Something symmetrical. What's that?
Symmetrical Grunfeld as usual.
Started as the Grunfeld, G3, D5, Bishop G2. Well, C6 I used to know as the symmetrical Grunfeld. This is a little bit different. C5.
Yes, but it's
castles.
pretty strange because if he would want to play symmetrical Grunfeld, he could start with C6 instead of D5, right? Because after D5,
G3.
he could play C6 and nothing
Yeah,
strong
C6,
with C6.
right. So D5, Bishop G2. No, but black
D5
was not.
is usually met with C takes D5, I believe. Probably.
C takes Bishop G2.
G2
You mean to
and-
avoid the symmetrical stuff?
Yes,
Alright.
exactly.
Anish still did not play his move in the game against Anand. By the way, if we are looking at ratings of the players taking part, it's only Vladimir Kramnik who is rated above 2800. All the rest are 27 plus. The second rated is Levon Aronin, 2795. Well, Levon obviously had been over 2800 for quite some time. And so was Vishy Anand, who's rated number 3. Mamedyarov with 2761. Could it be that it's
His personal best, you
can
wanted
be,
to say,
can
yeah?
be, yeah, can be. Well, it's one of the highest ratings he had. Anish Giri, though, on contrary, lost quite
Yes.
a lot of points. So 27.55 for Anish Giri. And then we have Li Chao, Peter Swidler, Boris Gelfond, Jan Nepomniachtchi, all within, from 27.50 to 27.40. So it's like 1-2 points difference. And Yevgeny Tomashevsky rated a little bit lower, 27.31, which is still, of course, quite a high rating.
Yeah,
and
sure.
not to forget, Yevgeny is the current Russian champion.
Yeah.
Right, so here, Mamedyarov Li Chao, what happened? C5, castles, and CD4, and knight d4, and black makes a castle. And now what I know, white can make a draw
Sure.
by taking d5, knight d5, and play knight b5. And then you have no comfortable way but to play bishop e6, and
And you
white
just go
returns
back,
to d4. And then there is no better square but c8 and knight b5. And this is the way, an official way to make draw, but this is not what Mamedyarov will play, I believe. I hope so, at least.
Yeah, but
He's
as I
known to
know,
be
it's pretty difficult for white to.
cd5, meanwhile cd5 was played, and I believe black will play knight d5.
Yeah.
So I wonder what's the...
There is a big number of moves here. I mean, I believe knight b3 is pretty decent.
Okay,
bet.
you play knight c3, right?
Yeah,
As
let's
well.
start with this one. Yeah,
that's- I
knight
mean,
c3
like,
is
fundamentally, this is the one of the critical positions of not only this line, but I mean, in Catalan you have it. So it's two those pawns which are weak, but
Yeah.
at the same time they give you additional squares in the center, plus the bishop on g2 presses the queen side, plus sometimes rook b1. So these positions are very hard to play, and they probably don't have a clear assessment as structure-wise. So it really depends.
Yeah, but-
it really depends where the pieces
yeah,
are.
you're right.
I think here,
But
though,
we should add that this line is pretty concrete, yeah, and
I think knight c6,
Knight c6,
also
yeah, and,
exists, and
a big number of some first lines exist
usually
here.
ending up in a draw.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so at the moment black is thinking what to do.
So probably we'll see some improvement
Look-
over move 20. And
Look what happened. Jan played, so we are back to Jan Nepomniachtchi versus Tomaszewski. Jan just played queen f2, so he continues to kind of, violate the rules of development. In fact, very useful move, defending f4, moving the queen from that pin, so attacking the knight this
Yeah.
way. Now, I mean, it's, well, for these players, it's obvious, right? But for some say beginners, it might be like, okay, what he's doing, he moves the queen all the time, he moves with the
Yeah.
pawns, kind of violating the basic rules. But
Yeah, but it's pretty unusual setup, because usually in Scotch, white usually opts for g3 followed by bishop g2, I believe. And after queen f2, probably the light colored bishop will go
yeah,
to
so it's
e2,
bishop
I believe.
e2, bishop d3 he's planning to play, right. Okay, so it's up to Tomaszewski to move. Well, let's think what he can do. Can he actually? So it's knight b4, knight f6, knight b6. I can see 3. Is this an option?
Hard to believe, actually. Just takes.
Bishop takes, bishop e5 takes. No,
and,
yeah,
queen
this
e2.
is not an option. Yes, check, and queen e2 resigns.
Yeah.
So, right. Well, knight b4,
It's gonna be made by a3, which
a3. So it's another pawn move, but looks like it wins a piece.
Unless bishop takes e5.
Unless bishop
works,
e5 works here.
But it shouldn't be working even after
This,
simple taken.
queen takes, queen e2, same stuff, right?
Yeah, I sort of checked
Knight
c2, but still it should be lost.
c2, king d2. Takes, you have to, right? You
Actually,
have to take.
maybe king d1 was a little bit smarter just to face a taking on
Yeah,
a line
right,
by
obviously.
bishop b2.
So there won't be. I thought we trapped the knight anyway, but this is even better, right? King d1, so black has to take on e2 anyways. This and bishop b2 attacks both the knight.
And
And,
objectively, it should be lost once again, I believe.
yeah, so not a lot of tricky moves there are for black.
I don't know. I mean, initially I would probably play knight f6. Somehow it feels
Knight f6.
very,
Can
very
it be
natural
that,
to me.
that the check is a theoretical move? I still think it's kind of.
And after bishop d2.
No, no, it can't be. No, it can't. There is simply bishop d2.
Yeah.
There was some position. Just I'm trying to. Yeah. But
Yeah,
this-
maybe. I
this-
mean, it's very.
No, here it
It's very difficult not to mix up the lines actually as black. I mean, I have been facing this problem for
So it's
quite a
well.
lot-
We are running
long
out of
time.
out of tries. So now it's knight f6 or knight b6.
yeah.
Right, and maybe possibly knight f6. But then bishop e2 wins another tempo. Right, and then say knight
e4.
e4. I mean, okay, I don't want to play knight g8, obviously.
Sure.
Yes, so this.
But actually there is no threat. So maybe some d6 here.
Bishop
For
e2, maybe
instance.
it's not a threat to take. Right, so d6. Yeah, it is a tricky line.
Yeah, and
after all.
simple castling here in
Castle
spirit of
or
Scotch
yeah, castle
takes and some bishop a3.
bishop a3 followed by f5 possibly, and not
Yeah,
taking.
and just
I mean, who knows?
Some random
Who
stuff
knows?
continues here.
Who knows?
So maybe c5 here, yeah, or
or
something.
queen e. Yeah, no, I thought queen e6 actually. Maybe c5. All right, but it seems Nepo is much better prepared. I can't see the clock display just yet, but I think Tomaszewski had much less time.
Yeah, but I don't think Evgeny is very happy with what he
What he got out
what
of the
he
opening.
got out of the opening.
No, but how does that happen? Okay, this is absolutely theoretical line. Knight here, c4, and Vladimir Kramnik is known to play knight b6,
b6
at
here,
once without
yes.
bishop a6. But okay, bishop a6 must be a theoretical line. b3 shouldn't be.
Yes,
you know,
I mean
out
it's,
of the
it's
this
the main
world
move, I believe.
surprise. Yes, g6, f4,
G6 is one of a big number of options.
f4.
Yeah, but as I know, f4 is not the main. It's
maybe
kind of a
f4
rare
is
move.
not,
Yeah,
yeah.
kind of a rare move.
Meanwhile, we've predicted right the development of Mamedyarov Li Chao. So it was in fact knight c3, bc3, knight c6, and this we know this one is a drawish line, to be honest, right? I mean, if
Yeah, and
black has to be just tiny bit careful, but
black has to remember everything here. But If he does,
But
then
what's the sever thing is like if he takes, right?
bc6, I
takes,
believe.
Then
Now
if-
bishop c6 is met by
if
bishop
bishop
h3.
takes, then it's bishop h3, right? And then if I think here it's only black can be better. No, I mean I have to go back or
Yeah, but this will
Alright.
never give you any advantage for sure.
yeah. So how to actually how to get an advantage? So it's takes maybe not bishop c6, but instead to start with something like this, and then still I don't see what's the
Queen
point.
c7 even
So to
should
keep
be
the
okay.
queens, right?
Yeah.
This, no, I mean, maybe white can hope for some, slight edge. I don't know, but really hard.
I don't know, I can be wrong.
Something
Somehow it becomes a little bit unpleasant, yeah. Yeah, but that's what we were talking about. I mean, if black
You have to be-
will not, do something.
But look,
direct?
Gelfand has 134, so I still believe.
No, but
Still believe
that
he's
means
prepared.
he has already spent like
Aha,
7
wait.
minutes, because
7
he
minutes
he
something.
he used to have 142, yeah,
All right, so
or
yeah, but the
143.
strange thing is, look, I mean, here he played very fast. 95 was there. Maybe that was the moment he spent time, but on the other hand,
Yeah, probably
do you have any?
he just misses a move at home. Because I mean, usually in such positions, a computer just gives so many moves with 0, 0, 0,
Yeah, so that's
and sometimes you miss.
that's a problem with nowadays preparation. Once again, yeah, you spend a lot of time looking at various moves, and not all of them you have a chance to actually check
Yes.
at the board, at the
Yeah,
real
exactly.
board. And well, when computer gives you, okay, this is equal, and this is equal, and that one is equal to 2, sometimes you do not realize that it might be not that pleasant to play at the
Over
board.
the board, yeah.
Which, well, looks pretty much the case here. Maybe still this position after bishop b5 is nothing special. Okay, we shall see. Now it's Levon, and, well, I wonder why he's thinking, because his king d2 seems to be almost automatic. Isn't it? I mean,
I don't know. Probably there is some other move.
there
Maybe
is
rook
anything-
rook c6, for instance.
Rook c6, well, I thought so, but what's the difference? To force this position with bishop d5, I mean, actually, this, he can assure getting this position with
Yeah.
an isolated pawn. I don't know how serious
Yeah, but here it's a bit.
is it. But still, maybe I'm in time to come to d4. Right?
No, I was just wondering if black is in time to transfer his rook to a6. But even if he will manage to, then
So
why?
it's like this.
Yeah, but I'm not in time because rook c6 is gonna be met
Rook
by knight d4.
c6, yeah. Can be met by a4 as well, or a3. I mean, some tricks.
Ah, yeah,
like
but
that.
wait, but why to play rook c6? Actually, if Levon wants, he can take on c8 immediately, right? Instead of all these
Ah,
moves.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I mean, it's not necessary yet. Of course.
Takes. Ah, yeah, right.
Yeah,
and
and
he took.
it's-
Takes.
what he does.
Takes. Probably takes over
D5?
there. And to play king d2. And we already have this position.
Yeah, exactly.
Knight versus bishop. Knight will be put on d4, then some
Then
a3.
a3 will come
but
at some
actually,
point.
Yeah, it's interesting because computer would probably, well, wouldn't mind being black. I mean,
Estimate
it's
this
equal,
here
yeah.
like just
Yeah,
equal
so
position.
according to computer, but
Exactly.
we still do believe that it's much more pleasant to play with white. This sort of endings.
Unless black has some intermediate.
Bishop d5, and I wonder if there is nothing like. No, come on.
Maybe
I
some.
thought of some rook c2 over
Yes,
there, but
exactly,
then there
and-
is bishop f3, and you, well, no, I don't believe. I mean, some brilliance. Actually, white did not castle yet, so he can
Any move.
castle anytime.
Even knight c6 followed by taking on before.
So no, it
Yeah.
can't be. No, can't be. Even though Boris stops in this moment. stops in this moment. So I wonder if
So maybe king d6.
king d6. Well, it's some brilliancy.
Because originally I thought that it's gonna be made by bishop c4, but after bishop c4, the rook on h1 is gonna be hanging,
Oh wow!
and
King
you
d6.
can simply take.
Well, still hard to believe.
But easier than it used to be.
If it works, yeah. The point being that if knight comes back, then it's once again the rook is not defended. So, I mean, probably king d5 works, but it's even better to give a check and to take h1.
Yeah, obviously.
So white cannot get the same position after. Yeah, can it be king d6? That would be at least, I mean, some entertainment. So knight f7, then it's king d5, threatening rook c1, and knight on f7 is.
And it's very important. I believe that king d2 is going to be met by rook f8, because otherwise it would be
king d2.
Probably just a healthy pawn for white.
Yeah, there is. I've just
Yes,
spotted this one, but then
king d4
black gets active. King d4. Yeah, that's a good way actually to get in trouble with white. So king d6. Kind of like this one.
Well, I mean, unless we were blundering something, I would already
wait. Bishop c4 and then king e5.
Yeah,
That's
you have a check on f4, but it doesn't change much, I believe.
f4 and
Any
now
move.
it's king f6. Yeah, right. So the point being, then if bishop takes, then it's check from c1. King d6.
So what's
if
wrong?
knight c4, it's king
d5, and black is just fine.
I don't see
Hard
anything.
to.
Okay, I mean, what I wanted to do originally with white to keep the knight, right?
Yeah, but could it be that Levon just blundered this one? Because I mean, so far we are somehow we failed to find even
Rook c6.
even
We
equality.
said bishop b7, right? You mean after king f6, it's king d6. It's not clear if white has. No, I mean white shouldn't be worse. Come on.
Why? But well, I mean, if I will get my piece back, I mean, all my pieces are perfectly placed. You will probably have to castle, but then your king is going to be far away from the center.
Bishop f3,
Three, but
king
takes.
e5 and king d2, let's say. But then you are right. Black is better. I mean, maybe white holds, but it's black who is better. Right?
Obviously,
no
yes.
question. No question.
Yeah, I'm not claiming it's already lost or something, but
All right, so even
is
this
unpleasant, at
seemingly harmless ending can be quite interesting if Boris will play king d6. All right, then we have Swidler versus Kramnik. Shall we check this one? So bishop g5 in fact was played. And then Kramnik played knight c6 and queen b8. And this is a bit surprising because it looks like a mixture of two plans.
yeah, but this also have been played, I believe. Yeah, and if you will give me some time, I will try to realize how do they get. Because I mean, after some almost forced lines, there should be some position with an extra queen for white and some kind of a fortress for black. I believe it starts with taking on f6, bishop takes,
knight e4.
Knight e4 is probably made by simple bishop e7, and after knight takes d6.
What was the line?
Queen takes d6, I believe, should be the line.
d6. Yeah, I do remember some
Somehow
forcing line.
yes,
Yeah, you're right. Which is
somehow takes c3, knight a5.
I mean this, and knight a5.
Yeah, but probably it's not our business to actually.
Let's
just let them
give
to,
a chance to Peter Swidler. Actually, look, he's on 59 minutes, and Kramnik is still in his preparation.
Yeah.
So it's 11 moves, not so much, but Peter Swidler already spent 40 minutes. Giri versus Anand. In fact, after bishop b6, both sides castled, and Anish played bishop e2, preventing apparently this knight g4 or something. No, I come to realize that indeed it's not that easy to develop the bishop from c8, but might be that black is still super solid.
I don't know. I
Queen
mean,
c7 now?
I wouldn't like to come up with some, ambitious estimations, but it feels to me like white
Something
is much
wrong,
better.
huh?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, I don't know. Some queen c7 doesn't look like.
Yeah, but what is your next? I mean, just any move. King h1, bishop g5, whatever.
a6, bishop a7, b5. I don't know. I mean, what's. Because
Yeah.
I still want to develop the bishop on b7. That's clear. I mean, I cannot
Sure.
imagine playing e5 moving the knight. So that's.
Sure, but
Then
white has a lot of time. Maybe g3 followed by bishop f4 makes sense
G3,
here, for
right.
instance.
Right.
I don't
maybe,
know,
Maybe queen c7
some-
is not.
Somehow it doesn't feel very,
one
very
of the ways.
comfortable.
How to say? One of the ways.
Unless knight e5
mm,
works, followed by bishop g7, then if
this, right?
and
So-
if we are not losing immediately, then probably
Say
black is
bishop
fine.
f4, knight can go to g6. Yeah, maybe it's not so simple. Can be that it's not so simple.
Still some rook d1 followed by bishop d6.
There. Or
No, I mean after bishop f4.
bishop f4. I have to play knight g6, apparently.
I don't know, you could try
Or
some crazy queen c7, but it's hard to believe.
Queen c7
With
with
a-
knight f3, I
Yeah, but
guess.
even bishop g3, I don't know, bishop
Queen c7
d7.
I don't like, really. No, I had to play, I have to play bishop c7.
Yes, but
and
after bishop,
threatening.
yeah, but after bishop c7 you're about
This.
to,
Rook d1 or other rook to d1.
I don't know.
Queen e7. Maybe,
No, but
It's not
bishop
so-
g3 I don't like this at all, because some bishop d7 is gonna be met by knight d5 probably, or even f4 e5. I mean, it doesn't feel like.
being right set up for. Okay. Don't know. So far, yeah, Giri's actually.
Well, I mean, at least I believe
looks-
some challenge will come. I don't know if.
Right, so what will be our prediction by the end of the first hour? Mamedyarov Li Chao looks very safe and most likely to be a draw. Say a crazy game between
Jan Nepomniachtchi and
Nepomniachtchi and
Evgeny
Tomaszewski
Tomaszewski.
already. Tomaszewski's, well, spent 40 minutes. He's on 1 hour after 11 moves, and so far we don't know what's the comfortable move for black. Right, knight f6 we said. Knight f6, but it's...
I just realized that probably taking pawn f4 is not that stupid. And after bishop f4, probably we should have included g5.
g5.
You are kind of forced to play bishop g3, I believe.
Ah, well, it can be
And
kind
some
of a
h5
theory.
or f5.
Or maybe this.
Or maybe castle first, followed by f5.
This, and if queen take... Yeah, it can be pretty messy, right?
Yeah, but what about just castling here? Just followed by f5 and
Was there...
whatever.
was it necessary to play g5?
Ah, you mean I could start with castling?
Maybe, yeah.
Probably.
I mean, it's kind of funny, but takes and castle, and to see what... I mean, f6, fe5 is one of the ideas, right?
Yeah, at least I mean Black solved all his strategical problems. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, no
he-
knight is
yeah.
hanging
yeah,
anymore,
sure.
yeah.
He only needs to make it work. Yeah,
It's,
exactly.
well, a little bit of problem is the material deficit, but yeah, no, that's maybe one of the things Tomaszewski is considering. Right, so then I'm moving this position which you like for Giri versus Anand, and most probably you're right. Then we have Swidler
Some
thinking in,
theoretical battle.
yeah, Swidler thinking in a position which seems to be very well known to Kramnik.
Yeah, but I believe it's also known for
Yeah, it's
Swidler
not
as
that.
well.
Yeah, it's
and-
not that Peter Swidler see this one first time in his life. It's,
yeah,
well,
and
it happens.
in the last game we have, last but not least game, we have some
Yeah,
strange endgame.
that's the most actually the most interesting position as for now.
So far,
If-
yeah.
If we miss something, or black can play king d6, solving all the problems at once. One more time, what was the problem with king d2? I mean, King
No,
D2.
well, I mean,
Maybe
yeah,
it had to be
played
then King
earlier.
D2
Yes,
over
exactly.
there, over there, and then most likely White will get this.
Slightly better position.
Yeah, so it feels like could be that Levon simply missed this one, Bishop D5, and I mean, obviously if
or
King
we
D6
are missing
works,
something,
yeah,
which
well,
is also
there is a fair chance we just
Yes,
blunder something.
exactly.
King D6. Wait, King D6, and if I play F4, my last try will be.
yeah, but
Play
we.
F4 King.
Which move do you want me to play? Because actually, even taking with the pawn is much better
Now
version.
takes with the pawn. Yeah, actually looking at this.
It's
F7,
much better version
F7.
comparing.
Yeah, like since you provoked me to play, it might be still in control for White.
Yes, maybe, but king
King
takes
D5
is
was
obviously
kind of more principle, right?
much more ambitious move.
And then I don't know, King F2, D2. No, King F2. It's maybe I'm trying to get
it's-
into trouble. In fact, right?
Something is wrong here.
Rook check and
And if you would opt for king d2, I would probably play even king
D2.
e4.
King E4, sacrificing this guy. Maybe I mean there is nothing wrong with F6, right? Just
Well, I mean the question is if
yeah, it's
black is better or not. Yeah.
right. Absolutely clear. White is not better.
And this
King
was played.
D6 was played, and Levon played Bishop F3 quickly,
Which means
which means there is
black is perfectly fine, and the question is only
so King E5, right?
if white is.
Yeah, it's well, this will be a little bit
No, but knight
silly
f7,
attempt
yeah.
because of check on F7,
Yes.
and then White wins a pawn. But there is nothing wrong after all. Black has better rook. So not only Gelfand equalizes, but I believe he's getting a better position. Right. I think this is it for the first hour of broadcast.
So we're going for a short
we
break.
go for a break. We'll back in a few minutes.